So it's Brian and Chris here again, and today we're going to talk about syncing down your SharePoint Teams sites into your OneDrive on your Windows Explorer. And Chris is pretty good at setting this up and tweaking out the settings so that you don't have too much or, you're syncing the wrong stuff, right, Chris? So why don't you take it over?
So on the screen here, we get the OneDrive client, and you can also set it up to back up important folders on your PC here. We generally don't use this though. So if I go to manage backup, so essentially what OneDrive tries to do by default is sync your documents, your pictures, and your desktop directory. But usually when you turn this on, some users have a lot of files they don't want backed up there. And that it also will create like a little green checkbox. So when you're on the desktop here, you'll see little icons on your desktop shortcuts, and it kind of throws people off. Generally, we just use it as, OneDrive, your personal files. So if we come in here, there's nothing, say we just create a quick little file. This is stuff only you can see. Whoever's OneDrive account is syncing to this desktop. And then, if you wanted someone else to use it, you could share it out. Other than that, another thing a lot of people do, is they leverage SharePoint, which is in the cloud there. And what we do is we typically use this OneDrive client, which is just a sync client, to sync down SharePoint sites, to the desktop locally here. So as you can see, there's like this little blue building called Contoso. This is just a demo organization, so that's why it's named that. But as you can see, this, we created an account for Brian here, and he's a member of the SOC team SharePoint site. So he'll see that SharePoint site as a folder here within OneDrive.
Chris, okay. Yeah, so that's how it looks on the web right there.
Yeah, so this is the web portal now for the same SharePoint site. But say we wanted, say he was also a member of the human resources SharePoint site. In order to sync that down, we'd want to go to documents here, I believe. So from here at this top menu, you'll see sync. This is going to leverage the OneDrive sync client. We're going to go ahead and do that. It's going to pop up. And then when you come back in here, we're going to see another directory be created.
Cool. So to the employee, it looks almost like a map drive to a local server, but you're actually going up into the cloud, connecting to the SharePoint site.
Yep.
And it dumps everything down.
And you can track the status here too. If there's any issues with syncing something, this little the OneDrive cloud, it's usually blue when you're signed in. If you see a gray cloud, it usually indicates you're not signed in, or you're using like a personal OneDrive account. And you can also click view online, and this will just bring you, to the same thing, the web portal version of your OneDrive directory. So we can see Brian has this one file here. Another thing people ask too is, well, what's the difference between OneDrive and SharePoint? Generally, they'd consider OneDrive your file. So, files you use. One thing we see a lot of clients do is like, say, you have an employee that has a work computer, like a workstation, and also a work laptop that they take home with them. If they want to work on files between both devices, OneDrive's a really good solution for handling something, because it would sync on both devices at the same time. So she could open it up. Say Samantha wanted to open up a OneDrive file. She could open it up on her work desktop, and then when she goes home at night, she has to edit something. If she's syncing it with OneDrive, she can just go into OneDrive on her laptop and edit the file, and it'll be right where she left off at.
All right, Chris, thanks a lot for showing us how SharePoint and OneDrive work in conjunction, and how that Teams sync works. And we'll catch you on the next one.
All right, bye.